Yo, what's up, everybody? Today's date, October the 16th, and I'm going to give you guys an 8-minute update of everything that you need to know. I'll be back full time October the 21st. Right now, I'm in Hawaii with my parents. We just finished our 9-day cruise. Now we'll be spending 4 days in Hawaii. So let's get right on this right now. So the first thing that you need to know is how Bitcoin is trending and where the major resistances are. The first major resistance that needs to be understood is around here, is around $31,000. The reason why it is a major resistance is because we see here that it held since January of 2021, and it will be coming up on a 3-year resistance soon if this keeps holding. So can you just imagine how great of a bullish rally it will be if we actually end up breaking this $31,000 region? Once we break it, it's just going to fly to the upside. We have tried to break it multiple times before, once last year, but it held too strong. And then we tried to hold again, to break again here in April, and then in July, but we failed. So unfortunately, because it's such a long-term running resistance, we failed, and then we broke to the downside. And then here you see that the trend line finally breaks to the downside after 8 months. And where does it hold as a support? It holds at a support around $25,200 because of the previous resistances on August and February and also June, and then in September as well, we hold there. I do apologize if I'm stuttering on my words. I had COVID the last 3 days, and I'm finally starting to feel better right now. Got my energy back. So we fall down after this 8-month sloped support, and now we hold as a support here. So we are in a tight range, as you can see here, for the past 180 days now. So for almost between 6 to 7 months, we are not breaking above 31K and we're not breaking below 25.2K. So until one of these ranges gets broken, we're going to be stuck here for a while. Now, if I had to make a prediction before the end of the year, I believe that we're going to get a lower low than the $25,200 region. I'm going to guess anywhere between even 19K, one last capitulation, to around maybe 23K. That would be my last guess if I had to make one. But right now, we are so much closer to beginning a bull market than we are to staying in the same market that we're in right now, as in staying longer in this bear market. I believe the bear market has already ended, and now it's just a matter of time before the distribution and the accumulation phase occurs, and especially if there is going to be a BlackRock ETF approval of Bitcoin, you can only imagine how that's going to affect the market very soon. So right now, as it stands, this range needs to be broken, especially $31,000. If that is not broken, we will not see the beginning of a bull market anytime soon. So the next thing I'm going to take a look at with you is the 50 moving average. The 50 moving average can be seen on all time frames. Now, the most significant ones would most likely be on the weekly and also on the daily and the monthly. So let's take a look at the daily chart first of all. As you can see, in a bull market here in 2021, actually, let's go to 2017 first of all. As you can see in 2017, you can see that the majority of the time, this is the 50 exponential moving average, the yellow line. The price action tends to stay above this yellow line. It only goes below it slightly. You would agree on that. And then in 2021, the same thing occurred. Okay, the same thing occurred where, except in 2021, it never actually broke down below it. So we can say that the 50 moving average is used as a great gauge for how a bull market can be interpreted and how it'll bounce off of it. So you can see right now that the way it's looking is that we're hovering up and down, above and below it quite often. We're above it, below it, above it, below it, above it, below it. This is usually what happens before a bull market begins. If you take a look at, say, 2016, okay, 2016 right here, or even 2015, you're going to see prices below it, above it, below it, above it, below it, above it. It's just going to oscillate up and down, just like how we saw in 2019 and in also 2020. Okay, so you can see the price over here as well. It goes above it, below it, above it, below it. So when we get to a bull market, you're going to see this price constantly stay above the 55 moving average. If we take a look at the weekly, it definitely 100% stays well above it. Okay. So right now, we're just kind of fighting between the 55 EMAs on pretty much all time frames. But the monthly one is the most important one because the 55 EMA on the monthly time frame, it's going to mainly stay above it the majority of times. But as you can see here, it dips only slightly below it. Here we fell below it significantly, bounced back up above it, and here in September we hit this 50 moving average again, and then we end up bouncing above it. So when a bull market begins, the price is going to detach away from this moving average significantly, as you can see over here, okay? So this moving average here, it's taking a compilation of the prices in the past and it's giving you a weighted average to let you know how this line is moving relative to the price. So you can easily guess how it's going to look where the price action is versus where the moving average is. So right now, we're nowhere close to a bull market yet because this price is hovering so close to the 55 moving average on all time frames, on the weekly, on the monthly, and on the daily. Okay, so we're not even close to beginning a bull market yet based off of this moving average alone. Now, based off the 200 moving average, same thing. Okay, same thing as well on the 200 moving average. We're going below it, above it, below it, above it. We're oscillating exactly how it looks in a market that's indecisive right now, that's still trying to figure out if we're bullish or if we're bearish and when the bull market is going to begin. If you take a look in 2021, it detaches from the 200 moving average significantly. That was the last bull market. If you take a look at, for example, here in 2017, it is very significant how much it detaches from here as well. So until we start to see significant movement away from these moving averages, where you think of it like an elastic band, the elastic band will stretch. It'll stretch significantly away from these moving averages. And when it does that, that is where the bull market is likely to begin. So based off of the moving averages itself on the daily, the weekly, and the monthly, so for example, here is the weekly, we're still hovering slightly above it, but we haven't detached from it significantly at all on the weekly. And on the monthly, it doesn't show because there's not enough data. On the 2 week, we are staying above this 200 moving average. So that's a really good sign. So to conclude this video, you guys now know about the major resistances, which is at the $31,000 region, okay? You know that 25,200 is also a major support. So between 25,200 and 31,000, these are the ranges that we're going to play in. 31,000 has been holding as a resistance for 2 years and 10 months now. So because of that, it's going to be very significant once we eventually break away above this resistance range. But if I had to make one prediction, it would be bearish till the end of the year. Then Bitcoin halving begins in April. I think that the first quarter, as soon as we hit January or late December, I believe that we're going to be very bullish for Bitcoin's accumulation and distribution period. So based off of the moving averages as well, the 50 and the 200 moving average, I've demonstrated on the daily, the weekly, and the monthly chart that we have not detached significantly away from these yet. And once we do that, that is where the bull market will begin. And I still expect one major capitulation to occur. So I wanted to give you guys a very short update. Thank you very much for watching these videos, and I'll try to update you much more often. I'm feeling very under the weather, still recovering from COVID. So until then, I'll give you an update tomorrow. Bye now, and have a great day.